figure that out if I was her.
No, I wrote it like this, and then I made my handwriting.
Yeah, you know, I got my
Did y'all vote yet?
I got
You
my
guys
degree.
vote yet?
I don't think I'm supposed to vote on those things.
No.
I don't know. I feel like it's like if you cover politics, you're not supposed to vote for president. You cover the NBA. I'm only voting when I get an official vote like you.
Back
VP.
to the Cavaliers. They lost 109-95 against the Kings last night, their third loss in 4 games. Dwayne Wade very emphatically called this a rut. Not a great game for Cleveland. LeBron, which is 16 points on 6 of 17 shooting, and some very, very shaky defense. He might be dealing with some serious frustration. Here he was before the game when asked about how he's been officiated lately.
For me, the worst thing is when I actually go and talk to the ref and they say it was nothing. Like I go over, you didn't see that? No, I didn't think it was anything. There's no call. It's no foul. Like that's the worst for me. If he says, you know what, I may have missed that one, or you know, maybe I wasn't in the right position. But when you see the ref right there on the baseline looking at the whole play, and you go up to him and you say there's no call multiple times in the crunch time, that's the frustrating part. And for me, it's even more frustrating because I know how I'm officiated at times.
I think I would put a shirt on before I presented my case to the judge. I mean, sir, look at me. Scrawny me.
Right.
I keep getting fouled.
I'm getting knocked all over this place. Yeah. Like,
I said it earlier. It's one of, there's not many, but it's one difference between men and women. We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't take our shirts off and say, okay, gather around, guys.
I've never known to post videos
but I'm always covered.
without it. No, you have a sports bra on. You post shirtless videos on your Instagram every day.
I'm over 2 for going there.
yeah, there's a reason why you're cold in the studio. Right? Yes.
I ripped the sleeves off.
Those sleeveless dresses to see these pipes.
Chris Broussard, I'm not going to flex for anyone. Gosh, I love you and love you at the same time. Does LeBron have a reason and a right to be frustrated with his gripes against the NBA officiating?
Let me say this first. LeBron is not, coming out of nowhere and just lashing out at the refs, okay? He's being asked questions, and he's just being honest about his answers. So I don't think he has an agenda. There's no ulterior motive, to get to the ref. He's just being asked about the officiating, about the calls, and he's giving answers. Even when he said Durant fouled him twice, he ended it. What are you going to do, though? It wasn't like he was trying to drum up this, story about the ref.
Right, and he also said that he had lost the ball.
Yes, yeah. When he actually got fouled, they said he got fouled on that one, too. So that said, look, nobody wants to hear LeBron complain about the officiating. Shaquille O'Neal didn't complain about the officiating, and he was getting hacked on virtually every possession. But that said, LeBron does suffer in similar ways to Shaq because he's so big and he's so strong and he can finish through contact that a lot of times the refs let stuff go. This year, he is scoring more points in the paint than he has in his entire career. You would think, that being the case, that his free throws would be up, or at least close to where they've been.
Right.
They're at a career, or not a career low, but the lowest since his rookie year. 5.9 attempts a game. For a guy that's scoring in the paint that much.
And historically, your rookie year is your baptism. I don't care how good you are.
And they're not giving you
not going to give you any calls.
So he's, a superstar. He's certainly not getting any superstar treatment. And, he's getting fouled. He's getting hacked. And they're not calling it because he really should be going to the line more than 6 times a game.
You mentioned 2 key points there. I want to start with the first one. Shaquille O'Neal. Because this is the example everyone uses. Shaq, in every game he played in, except for the games against Yao Ming, was the biggest guy on the court. LeBron is never the biggest guy on the court. You cannot ref LeBron the way you did Shaq. Shaq was 7'2", 330 pounds. LeBron is bigger than guys his speed. He's bigger than guys that play point guard, which he does at times. But he is not, and he might be more physically fit, like more ripped, more rocked up than most guys. But he's listed at 6'8", 250. Let's call him 6'9", 260. That's still not, he is not this Goliath in the league.
He's not the tallest. But the league isn't, you don't have as many bigs on the floor either as you used to.
And you have all the spot-up shooters, so the lane is a lot more open, and you can't steer guys with the hand checking.
Yeah.
Now, this is the part that I disagree with you. we have seen 6'9", 260. We have seen, but we haven't seen it that fast, that could go above the rim, that could dribble with either hand, can finish at the rim with either hand. Like that we haven't seen. So when LeBron has the ball on a break or on a semi-break, to me, he is just like Shaq. We've never seen it before.
Yeah, that size. He's Karl Malone size.
But guess what?
He does.
He should get every single benefit from that. There should not be any part of the game where it's like, oh, well, here's the thing. Kevin Durant, who's taller and longer than LeBron, but has decided for his game he doesn't need to be muscular, he's going to get the benefit. No, LeBron worked for that. LeBron, one of the reasons he's successful in year 15 is because of the body that he has. And the idea that, oh, he can deal with it, he can handle the contact, like, I just reject it. And the other thing you mentioned, though, was superstar calls. LeBron gets the opposite of that. Whether people like it or not, in the NBA forever, the superstars get more calls than other people. It's one of the reasons why Steph Curry is shooting more free throws per game than LeBron. Steph's shooting 6.5 a game. LeBron less than 6. Like, Steph's a superstar. So if you contact Steph, he is going to get the call. LeBron is the league's biggest superstar and not getting the calls that he's got.
LeBron is not getting the superstar calls, but LeBron is able to take 2, 3, and 4 steps. Now, they give him that. He is doing 2 Euro steps. And they're giving him that. Now, you can complain about the foul call.
But is LeBron the only guy? Isn't Harden doing that? Isn't Giannis doing that?
LeBron does it to me, based on what I'm watching. Yeah. LeBron gets away with an extra half a step more than any of the other star players.
How much of it, Chris, is brand? Is this, you say you call it the superstar effect, but he's LeBron James and he's bigger than life. We know that, and yet they treat him as bigger than life sort of when he's playing on the court.
Well, that being the case, he should get the calls.
Wouldn't support
he's the Michael Jordan of this era. We all know Jordan's last shot against Utah. I mean, he clearly pushed Brian Russell off and shot the J. So LeBron's getting the opposite of what his brand is. I mean, he is the biggest. He's the face of the league. You would think he would get the superstar calls, like you said. But LeBron also flops. You know, he's cut down on it over the past couple years when they really started, honing in on it. But he's been a flopper. So, it goes both ways. Look, I understand the frustration because he doesn't get the offensive calls that he should. But to your point, he gets away with some extra steps. He flops, and a lot of times they let it go. So I don't think it's a thing he should be complaining about. And again, I don't think he is.
The other reason that I think this is particularly frustrating for LeBron is not only because he was a bad free throw shooter last year. This year he's almost at his career high, a couple hundredths of a percentage point off his career high. So that's something he thinks, I deserve to be getting to the line. I worked on him shooting almost 80% this year. But the other thing is, a knock on LeBron has been late in games he settles. Late in games he's settling for jump shots. Well, what did he try to do late in game on Christmas Day? Drive twice. What happened? Fouled twice. What happened? 2 turnovers on him in the books, or a turnover and a missed shot. So sometimes you're damned if you, damned if you don't. Like, maybe one of the reasons he's been settling is he knows late in games that refs swallow their whistle more, plus he's not getting the call, so I got to settle for these jump shots.
Well, one thing is, the refs are human, and LeBron, he shouldn't be penalized for his body and how he's taking care of his body. But because he dribbles the ball so much, it's hard to referee a guy that at normal contact, it knocks a guy away from the bucket. So his ability and his physical size, it works against him because they will allow a certain amount of contact because it doesn't affect him like the other players. That's part of who he is. That's the part that makes him special. But the refs are human. It's not like they start the game and say, you know something, we're going to make it hard on this guy. Because of his skill set and because of his greatness, it is harder to referee him.
You brought up a key point. They don't think when he gets bumped and it doesn't knock him off his path, they don't think it's giving the defense an advantage.
Yes,
and that's a big part of what officials think. That's why they let you come up the court palming the ball like this, because they recognize that doesn't give you any advantage.
That's why sometimes they wait to call a foul until they see if the shot was missed.
Yes.
Right. Now, they might have called the foul on LeBron on the first drive if LeBron didn't lose control of the ball. LeBron lost control of the ball, then the contact.
Yeah. And I get it. It was probably especially frustrating to him on Christmas Day because this was the matchup.
And he plays
Kevin
the right
Durant,
way.
LeBron James.
It's late
to your
in the game.
point, he goes to the bucket.
Yes.
And now what were a lot of people saying? Durant shut LeBron down. He's better than LeBron now. That is a big part of it too. LeBron got fouled. He should have went to the line. It could have changed the whole course of that game.
Only one person sat over in that seat and tried to say.
In that seat. He was in that seat.
Yeah.
We're talking about you, Doug Gottlieb.
Yeah.
I got more for you today if you want it.
He doubled down on the hurt.
Oh, yeah. No, I went on with him yesterday.
Thank you.